Since then, but as you said, generally the quicker of the three drivers is mature. He's still to come. Jean-Baptiste Lehay going for a gap which is surely going to be closed yet further, but no, he was between Richard Bradley's Algarve car and a concrete wall there on the main straight.
Did he pass off the track?
He was straddling the white line.
That car now sitting in a pretty solid third place, and just 5 seconds off Nicholas Coyton in the number 19 Cool Racing car. The latest stop, by the way, for Tony Wells to continue on to his second required stint here for a two-driver squad. They have...
Beg your pardon, I was reading the graphic and it was being slowed off. It was contact for Manuel Maldonado, who went for a move on the inside of the 60 Ferrari. Who's at the wheel of that? Giorgio Sernagiotto.
It is.
And had to escape to the red and white
ATMs on the drift course inside.
On the skid pan, and actually the rest of the racetrack here at Red Bull Ring has turned into a skid pan.
That's turn 7, isn't it?
Well, 2/3 of the way around. There's also been a moment for the Aston Martin of TF Sport as well, car number 95.
Ollie Hancock.
Ollie.
Yep.
When was he put into? Well, I mean, you certainly could change drivers. There's a full rotation for Richard Bradley.
He's struggling now, isn't he? There's the result of someone else, 65 off. Oh, there's another car going off very hard indeed. That was United car that came past sideways
and also tagged a barrier. Oh no, you know, it hasn't made contact with the wall too heavily, so going to keep my fingers crossed.
That went off very fast.
Now what we don't know is whether that's the 22 or the 32. Need to see it from the front really to make a full decision on that. It is no, still tricky to tell.
22. It's 22. Okay. Is stopped up at turn 9.
Okay.
32 is still moving at turn 6. It's 22. Having just got in the car, it's Tom Gamble, who appears to have rejoined.
Not to collect a car that was already
safety
sitting
car.
There. Safety car because
34
of the weather.
Is off.
And the 32 is off as well.
It was the 32 and another.
Everybody's off basically at turn 7.
So my apologies to Tom Gamble. It wasn't Tom, it was the other car. It was 32 with Job van Uter having just got in the car, but the 28's been off. The third cars went off at the same point. 22
has definitely been delayed in the gravel trap as another LMP2 car leaves the road at 7, and the Aston Martin very close indeed to a very good point. I'm also
there's a 65 car going off. That was the first car. We saw that car. And I think
porpoising like crazy left
then
and right.
Then the 34 car, almost in the same track. Luckily for Charlie Eastwood, though, he managed to find a way through the gravel and onto the... But then that was the first of the... So that's
got to be 32 by the way that it's hit the barrier at such force. But I think 22 then went off as well. So... and didn't hit the tyres quite as heavily. Tom Gamble, therefore, was able to return to the track. But I mean, so much steering input for Ryan DL in the EDEX Sport car. Yeah. Couldn't get the car to.
They're fabulous stuff as one of that's the 39 Graf car, finding there is limited to no grip, followed through by the 55 and the 93, or are they just avoiding standing water?
Marker when that is done though.
Skies are clearing.
Safety car in at the end of this lap.
There we go.
Safety car in at the end of this lap.
So that question is answered immediately by Eduardo Freitas on the radio to all of the teams.
How far back is 26? It's not a million miles away. Between turn 3 and turn 4 is the last of the train, or the first part of the train is coming through 4. So it's a disadvantage certainly in terms of track position here. The timing was not ideal. Remember, that car will need another stop for fuel. Green flag come out now.
And Team WRT are on course again to take victory at this stage because they enjoy, well, it's 50-odd seconds the gap as it's timed as cars return to normal speed. That could extend to over a minute for the Belgian team because remember, the United Autosports car that looks like it's in second position is actually in third and a full lap behind Robert Kubica. And that's because of the vagaries of the race so far, in that we've had Tom Gamble off the road at turn 7 when the rain really started to hit. He came in for a pit stop, I think, to change tyres as well, and it's put him a long, long way back. Behind him on the road, the BHK car, which is all over out of turn 3, all over the road there. And then it is the Panis Racing. There he is. the spray is a massive problem now for the cars approaching turn 3, certainly, and forced to the outside. Patrick Pilet, well, he had run wide on the exit of turn 3 there, so that makes sense. And it's Kyle Tilley who is laps down on the scrap between Habsburg and Gomendy, and they are fighting over 8th and 9th places. Meanwhile,
Roberto Merri going up the inside.
Pilet, side by side again, heading up the hill towards turn 3, but there's a slower LMP3 car that they'll be mindful of as well. Colapinto got the tail out, so I don't think his exit out of turn 3 is going to be as good as Louis Delatraz, but he puts the car in a very sensible position, well over to the right. 17-year-old Argentinian driver Franco Colapinto up against 24-year-old Swiss from Geneva, Louis Delatraz. This could rumble on for at least another 15-20 odd minutes.
Oh, I do hope so. Cracking stuff from both these drivers.
As a moment or two ago, the 32 car tried to get at the inside of the 21. Was some contact on the outside of that corner at turn 9, yes, and it resulted in the Dragon Speed car of Ben Hanley out onto the curves, but then subsequently a spin for the 32. Tom Gamble, the other United car, now taking the drive-through penalty.
Which means that Roberto Merri moved through into 3rd position, an overall podium position. He's not on pace going to trouble this pair. He's 1 minute and 22 seconds back. Patrick Pilet moves through to 4th in the EDEC Sport car. Logan Sargent, that's well off the track by the 26 car.
Race leader's gone wide at turn 3. Franco Colapinto squeezing the 88 Ferrari. Now, has Louis Delatraz carried enough speed between turns 3 and 4 to at least draw level with the 26? He's not going to get by, because that's neat driving from Colapinto, almost guiding the 41 car towards the Cool Racing Machine, number 17 rather, from EDEC Sport. But they're going to be side by side again coming through the kink at turn 6. And WRT were on the outside line into 6 and 7. That Louis Delatraz could not get the forward momentum required. Again, it's a busy run into turn 3 on the very next lap. Windscreen wiper on the high setting for Colapinto, and now they are going to fully overlap. The 41 car surely gets the lead this time around.
Yep. This battle, what we're looking at here, is this Drew's moment. That's a spin for... So Gustav Skrenbergers making a one-off appearance at the moment. The ridiculously teenager, Gustav Skrenbergers.
How late can the number 8 car brake? David Drew's on the wetter part of the track. Matt Bell can't hold him back. So there's your lead change in LMP3 at turn 3. Matt Bell's been being caught, and now he's overtaken in a similar vein as to what happened in LMP2, in fact, right at turn 3. And David Drew is just on either better tyres, or he's been nursing them more successfully through the opening part of the stint. Matt Bell can barely get the car stopped at Rauch corner either.
Isn't he? So if there's grip, and if you find out there's not, it's too late.
Yeah, very good point you make. Here comes Grinbergus on the inside of Fabien Leverne. Again,
this is going to be for position. He goes through as well.
Leverne's off in the gravel. 101 seconds, that will make sense. Anyway, car 41, Team WRT, Louis Delatraz, Yifei Ye, Robert Kubica make it 2 wins out of 2. They cross the line here in the Red Bull Ring. Jubilant celebrations commence down at Team WRT, including in the flat cap, Vincent Vos, the team manager. Franco Colapinto will finish in 2nd position, 21-22 seconds adrift of the race winner. And Roberto Merri will make it a double podium for G-Drive Racing. They also, with the 25 car, will take Pro-Am honours. And a great result, therefore, for the Stuart Cox outfit.
Yeah, Roberto Merri just needs to cross the line, because Franco Colapinto...
Between the 11 of Joey Alders and Matt Bell, a run to the line, and just about, I think, Matt Bell wins it. Wow. What's the gap at the end of that? 0.117 of a second. How close do you like it?
Good grief.
Those people that say 4-hour racing is dull and boring and cars get far too strung out, well, how do you like 0.1 of a second as a winning victory in LMP3?
One thing I'll call, and we'll see it on the podium if this has happened. It looks to me as if the 83 cars off the road at the
last
end
lap
and will not finish this race. They've not crossed the line.
Goodness me. And the very obvious rules within ACR competition are that you have to be running across the